This is a sports catastrophe production.
Hey there, ho there. Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to our Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy. And the birthday boy today ends up being a baseball star, a legend. Seems to me I usually get baseball guys every fourth day, but anyway, this guy is an absolute menace. He is Manny Ramirez. He's 49 years old today. He was a legend. He's a free agent, even though he's 49 and he's still like a free agent. He hasn't retired. So anyway, he played in Major League Baseball for 19 seasons. He played for Cleveland, Boston, Los Angeles, the Red Sox, and Tampa before playing in the Chinese League. He was a 9-time Silver Slugger and one of 27 players to hit the 500 career home run mark. He has 21 Grand Slams, which is third overall, and the most postseason home runs in history, 29, which is kind of an asterisk because Man has played his playoffs in a career that basically you go through 3 playoff rounds to win the World Series instead of 1 back in the prior to 1969. So anyway, he was born in the Dominican Republic and decided to move to New York City, and he got a good job. He was the first round pick of the Cleveland Indians, 13th overall in 1991, and would make his major league debut September of 1993. Ironically, in his second game, he thought he hit his first home run at Yankee Stadium, but it was just a double. Anyway, Manny would be a regular on the Indians in '94. It would actually be second in Rookie of the Year to Bob Hamlin, if memory serves me right. Fuck, Bob Hamlin? Who the fuck is he? Anyway, he basically helped the Indians get to the playoffs from '95 to '99 and set the Indians' record for RBIs in a season with 165. But after 2000, Ramirez decided to sign for Boston. And basically, he and David Ortiz were one of the best tandems in history, leading the Red Sox to 2 titles. Manram would be traded to LA in 2008. And Ramirez would also be suspended for filing baseball's drug policy by taking HCG. Ramirez also took a massive 100-game suspension in 2011 and all that. So basically, after 2011, he never played in the majors again. He's actually 15th all time in home runs with 555 and 18th in RBIs, 1,831. So it was pretty good, huh? So anyway, yeah. So funny thing is, when he did that career hit, he thought it was a home run, which was kind of a double. He actually homered in his final 2 at bats in that one game. Wow. So yeah, he did pretty well for himself. He was a good rookie of the year, but of course, '94 was Strickshorn. But in '95, he helped Cleveland establish themselves as superstars and all of that. So yeah, Manram helped the Indians get to the World Series against the Braves, but the Braves took him out. Ramirez got a 4-year contract after that season, so he did good for himself. Sadly, though, in the '97 World Series against the Marlins, he only batted 154. Pathetic. However, 1999 was one of his best years ever as an Indian. Basically, he headed into the All-Star break with the 3rd highest single total RBI, behind Hank Greenberg's 103 in 1935 and Juan Gonzalez's 101 in '98 with 96 RBIs. Ramirez would break the Indians' single-season RBI record, which was Hal Trotsky's for 6 decades. So he got 165 RBIs, the highest total by any player since Jimmy Fox in 1938, which is pretty good. However, the postseason would be his bane, if you will, going 1 for 18. Yikesies. Injuries would ruin him in 2000. So anyway, Manram decided to test free agency, despite the fact that the Indians were willing to give him a 7-year, $119 million contract. But Manram wanted 10 years, $200 million, aka $20 million a year. But he agreed to the 8-year, $160 million deal with the Red Sox, meaning $20 million per year. But basically, Manram was good for Boston. He would really hit a long, deep drive. The 2001 season was huge because not only did he hit a light tower at Fenway Park, which was listed at 501 feet, he actually hit a bomb into the fifth deck of the Rogers Center in a game. I remember watching the Sunday afternoon game, Red Sox Blue Jays. Not live, but like Red Sox Blue Jays on CBC. Brian Williams described it. It was huge. And I looked at the ball and it was still in the fifth deck. I'm like, wow. This was amazing. All that. Manray was moved from right field to left field because of Trot Nixon's presence and all that. He would still have some issues and all that. By 2003, he was the central focus of the Pedro Martinez, Roger Clemens Bean Fest in ALCS Game 3 and all that. May was the one who charged the mound at Clemens, sparking the melee that saw Pedro Martinez flip Don Zimmer. All that. There were rumors that Manram's massive contract was ruining the new ownership by John W. Henry. It was supposed to be Boston wanted a trade with Texas for A-Rod. He was on irrevocable waivers, meaning that any team could assume the remainder of his contract. But no one passed on him. And the Yankees took A-Rod instead. After the fact that Aaron Boone blew out his knee playing off-season basketball. But Manram wasn't too bitter at the Red Sox for getting rid of him. In 2004, he led the AL in home runs and slugging percentage, which was pretty good. He and Dave Ortiz were great teammates for hitting home runs and all that. He did fantastic for himself. And he was part of the team that led the Red Sox to finally win the World Series after so many years of trying and all that. He was actually World Series MVP, which was weird. But anyway, yeah, he did okay. So there were rumors that Ramirez wanted to be traded and all that after not doing well in the 2005 postseason. But, he dropped the demand. Still did pretty well for himself. All that with Boston. I mean, he still, unfortunately, Manram had some issues with the Red Sox, especially after taking a break and going into the left field stands the left field scoreboard for some reason, and he cut off a good throw somewhere. Unfortunately, Manram had some issues with teammates and all that. And he was traded to LA in a 3-way deal. Boston picked up Jason Bay in the 3-way deal, and Pittsburgh got a pair of prospects. Ramirez decided to wear 99 for the Dodgers because his 24 was retired for the legendary manager Walter Alston. Manram basically was in his element with the Dodgers and all that. He had an astounding .520 in the 2008 playoffs with 10 RBIs, but they lost the NLCS to the Phillies. It was amazing. He was fourth in voting for the 2008 NL MVP, despite the fact he was an American League player to start the year. So he was at a good pace. He was batting .348 through May 7 from 6 homers, 20 RBIs. But there was always a catch, and he was given a drug suspension. And basically, he's just screwed up. And all that. He did pretty good. And all that. He was actually placed on waivers by the Dodgers in 2010. And August 30th, he went to the White Sox. The White Sox would assume the remaining $3.8 million. on his contract and all that. The White Sox needed a push for the postseason, but he failed to deliver. Tampa signed him to a one-year deal. And Johnny Damon was signed to the Rays. It looked good and all that. In spring training, he was decent and all that. After 5 games, though, he was terrible. 1 for 17. Worse off, he was reported tested positive for a performance-enhancing drug in spring training, which basically meant a 100-game suspension. So he decided to retire, and then he was reinstated for a 50-game suspension. But basically, he just couldn't improve himself. He wanted to play for the Australian Baseball League's Sydney Blue Sox, but because of the uncertainty of the season due to COVID-19 and an on-field medical problem, Ramirez was released. Manny has three sons. His son Manny Jr. is a son from a previous relationship, who is, I guess, 26. While he had Manuelito and Lucas Ramirez with his wife Juliana. Manny Jr. is actually playing for the New Britain Bees. So basically, Manny was being Manny, and he liked his stuff. I mean, he still has the record for postseason home runs and RBIs, 12-time All-Star, World Series MVP in 2004, 2002 AL batting crown, 2004 home run crown for the AL, 1999 RBI crown for the AL, many times. 2-time world champion. He actually has the longest LCS hitting streak with 15, which is pretty good. And he did pretty well for himself. Manny Ram's got 28% of the voting for the Hall of Fame. Not bad. Could be better. Anyway, Man Ram was actually on the cover of World Series Baseball 96. Did not know that. But the most important cover in video game history is MVP Baseball 2005, which is one of the most underrated freaking games of all time. It's a PS2 classic. I always play that one to the hilt and do tournaments based on that. It's a very good game and all that. The only problem between that I hate MVP Baseball 2005 compared to All-Star Baseball 2005 is, well, yeah, they have the classic stadiums, but there are some classic stadiums that are different in All-Star Baseball than in MVP Baseball. But still, I mean, MVP Baseball, you get to unlock legends and they get to play. Like Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, Satchel Paige, Bob Gibson, Al Kaline. Basically, you can put them on any team you want and, get the fun. Let the fun begin. That's what I do for my tournament. All championship teams, basically, that's my go-to. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.